I should start by properly congratulating you, Mr. Ty Burrell, on your Emmy win. We were joking. Good to see it. Now, would it be fair to say you were a bit of a late bloomer to acting?
I did a lot of things very poorly for a very long time. And then I got into acting and did that very poorly for a very long time.
So what were you doing up until the point of going acting for me?
Things like I was a forest firefighter.
Hang on.
Wait a second. Wait, are you allowed to be bad as a forest firefighter?
No.
That seems awful.
No.
How are you
It's
bad?
over here, Ty. You're like, what?
I remember the very first fire. We had, it's two guys in a truck, and you've got a 500-gallon tank truck and a hose, and a lot of time with each other. No. And so all I had done is run and read through the manual, and the next day there was a fire out on the freeway. As we were driving up, all I remember is negotiating with the guy about. I was basically trying to convince him that it was out of our jurisdiction, and I really was. I really did. I started by going it's on the freeway. You know what I mean? And he's like, no, that's in our jurisdiction. And I was like, no, but I can see on my patch deal, it's a tree. You know what I mean? There's no trees there. And he's like, no, it's in our jurisdiction. I'm like, if you think about it, the freeway goes just right into a city. You know what I mean? It's just like a flow right into a city. And then we got there, and he basically had to push me out of the truck. And then I was leaning against him. We had the hose, and I was literally trying to get away, and he was pushing me, so we were just static.
Good times.
Yeah.
You would have had, it seems like the actor thing, before you get into that, there's always bad jobs.
Oh, yeah. Tons of jobs. I don't know if they're bad jobs. I think they're good jobs that I agree. You're just horrible at them. Because in your brain, you're like, I'm going to act someday. And the manager at the restaurant's like, you definitely won't. You will not be good at anything for the rest of your life. Yeah. I was a bartender at a bar in New York, actually. I didn't really know the rules of bachelorette parties and stuff like that. So I was bartending, and these bachelorette party girls came up, and they had been going late and long. And they were like, we just want something crazy. And I was like, yeah, I don't know how to do anything crazy. Do you want beer or Jack? That's all I got. And they were like, no, but what's a fun shot? And the only thing I could think of at the time was cement mixer, which is Bailey's and lime juice. And you shoot the Bailey's and then shoot the lime juice and swish it in your mouth.
That's not a real thing.
No, and it turns into rubber in your mouth. So all these girls were like, hilarious, cement mixers. And they did one, then did two. And one girl, the third girl, as she put down the lime juice, she was like, eh! And just it didn't even go down. And everything from the night, I think a tiara came out. And I was like, oh my God. And I just looked to the manager and was like, I should wrap it up. I'm fired. Okay.
What about you, Stone Cold? Were you a ballet instructor or something? What was your weird thing you did?
Hey, man, lay off him.
Seriously.
That's why you're here.
Kill us.
That's why you're here. You're buffer.
I know he's a nice guy, but you keep egging him on.
Yeah.
Antiques are stupid, ballet kid.
I only ask you this because before the show, I was talking to John and Ty, and they said you were a pussy. And I just went, you can't do that. Why would you do that?
Normally, when I go on a talk show and someone calls me a pussy, I get mad. But tonight, I'm not mad. I'm happy to be with this guy. He's a douche. And I haven't made up my mind on this gentleman right here, but if they're going to call me pussy, I'm cool with that.
But you got into wrestling pretty much straight away from a very young age.
Well, I was growing up in a small town in South Texas and changing channels on TV one time when I was 7, 8 years old. I just saw a business, two guys in a ring. It was a smoke-filled arena, and just fell in love with that business. I knew one day that's what I wanted to do for a living. But, growing up in a small school in South Texas, in high school, you take this little aptitude test, when you fill in the little circles to try to give you a heads up when you get in college what you might want to do with your life. And so I did all the little circles, and a couple of days later, the test results came back, and mine said, based on the circles that I filled in, that I would probably be, really good at being a park ranger. I'm kind of a type A personality, and I got a short attention span, and a fucking park ranger ain't happening. But ended up going to college and screwing around for a couple of years with the football scholarship, and just saw a commercial for a wrestling school one night watching wrestling and said, that's it. I was loading, unloading trucks, heavy shit on a freight dock. I said, that's it. I'm going to wrestling
It
school.
comes off a truck.
Yeah, but you know, when you tell people went to wrestling school, it ain't like going to acting school or, you know, a real college to be a doctor or anything of merit.
Thank you. Acting's just like being a doctor.
You know what I'm saying?
Finally.
You know, usually it's some guy who's, you know, got 10, 15, 20 years and
Just
is a
not
con
smashing
artist.
chairs
No,
one
there's
on
no, there's no kind of real curriculum that you go through to learn the business of pro wrestling. It's kind of, you know, hands-on. I mean, it's not like you got, you know, chair shots 101 and, you know, all that bullshit. So,
But you have gone on to become one of, if not the biggest name in the history of professional wrestling. And yes, oh yes, applaud out of fear.
when you get paid to drink beer and jump up and land on your ass, it's a pretty good day at the office.
But it's well documented. You've broken your neck doing this.
Well, yeah.
And like you've got lots of injuries. You've had lots of injuries.
Yeah, I mean, certainly it goes with the territory. I mean, it's not ballet, but you go, when you get into it, you know coming out of it, you're going to be a different human being, mentally and physically. You're going to be pretty fucked up. But I had a blast in the business, but it goes with the territory. By the same token, you know, I've got some of my friends back home who've laid tile floors for 30 years, and their knees and their back are worn out because that's what they do. So anytime you do something, you're going to feel the effects of it. I don't know what the fuck you're going to feel after this because you just sit on your ass and cut jokes.
Yeah.
I need your spot.
Pussy. Actually, I would like to point out to Ty that I sometimes, watching Modern Family, worry about you because you get put through a lot of very physical stuff yourself.
Steve and I are a lot alike.
And look, here is we have documented proof. Check this out.
Hey, buddy, I'm home.
Hey, Dad, think fast.
Let me rock. No! I got it!
Oh, no.
We can get way down.
Oh, God.
In the treehouse. Oh, going down.
Oh, God.
What?
You spit on me.
Emmy award winning. Have you ever been hurt doing that, or are you safer off camera than on camera?
I have been, but it's so hard to talk about injuries next to this guy.
No, I want to hear something of it.
Everyone's got a scar story, like a good scar.
Well, I feel even more like a wimp sitting next to him, but I don't admit to it when I get an injury from being an idiot on my show. Like, I just pretend like everything's fine when, like, my neck is like, you know, that. And
I've even just being an idiot in real life.
Yeah.
Like, I've got a scar on my chin from spinning around on a pole as a kid.
Yikes.
And then one rotation, wasn't paying attention, closed my eyes, leant out too far and hit the next pole with my chin.
Sorry, I gotta ask, where are you with two poles? Are you sure you hit the pole or one of the patrons in the front row?
I was at a football stadium as a kid. I was at a football stadium. You know, in the days when getting dizzy was how you enjoyed yourself as a kid.
What do you mean the days when?
That's still fun now.
Yeah.
Have you got a scar? Any injury stories, John?
Totally, I'm super tough.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I have scrapes and bruises from...
I was actually interested to discover that you've got two older brothers.
I do.
And they are taller than you.
Much taller.
Which is astounding.
6'8" and 6'9".
Wow.
Yeah. So don't mess with me.
Easy.
All right? They know how to throw chairs, too.
Did you have problems with them, like when you're wrestling?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, they're huge, and they always were. At the age of, like, 3, they were 6'8" and 6'9". So, like, fighting and wrestling and all that stuff you do as brothers was way imbalanced for me. And I remember I was playing with a friend. I was playing, like, G.I. Joe. I was, like, 19. And then... my brother came over and for no reason just started, like, beating me up. For legitimately no reason. It was like, yeah, and then the guy, ow, ow, ow. And so as he walked away with his friend laughing, thinking it was hilarious, I thought I was reaching for like a G.I. Joe plane and ended up picking up a lawn dart, which is a dart that's like this big. They're illegal. And I remember wiping the dirt off because it's sanitary. And then I just threw it in the air thinking like, there's no way. And I heard, ah! And I would look back and he was running with a dart out of his head.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
I don't get scars, I give them.
Well, we will check our drinks, have a break, and be back with more after this.